Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller, and when this video comes out, I think it will be 20 years. If you're watching this July 3rd, 2024, after, that means I have been reselling for 20 years. And I absolutely love it. It's been such a blessing in my life. And today I have a what sold video for you. I'm going to share some items that sold on eBay and Poshmark in the month of June 2024. I have noticed when summer approaches, everyone talks about summer slowdown. I've always said I think summer slowdown is actually me slow down, because the years that I have stayed consistent listing, put things out there that have a high sell-through rate and are good for the season, I have great sales. A few ways that you can combat that summer slowdown is, number one, maybe you are going to be traveling or the kids are home or you're just outside more. If you prepare and schedule drafts, and just be sure that you have a few things going out every day. I think that activity makes such a difference. Also, make sure that you have items that lend themselves to summer. So I think good things to have are shorts, swimsuits, sandals, dresses. A lot of people are looking for summer dresses. By having things available that are popular to purchase in the summer months will really help boost your sales. I always look in the stores for swimsuits at the end of seasons. It's usually August when they're marked down. And if you go to the mall, most stores, if you go to the clearance section, you will find swimsuits. By September, they're slashed to almost nothing. I list them sometime during the winter and they are ready to go when people start shopping. So a good amount of my sales are swimsuits. Also at Goodwill, I like to look in the areas that are off season because they're not as picked over. So just making sure through the year you're picking up summer items and have them listed before summer starts makes a big difference. On Poshmark, it's critical that you continue sharing, even if you're off doing things all day with the kids on vacation. You want to be sure that you're sharing your closet so that your items are shown in the search result. We're about to go to Louisiana tomorrow morning on a golf trip. I'm going with my husband and we're going to be gone for 4 days. Thankfully, I have Prime Lister to share my closet, send out offers, follow other people, and do basically all of the tasks other than listing for me. So I will continue to have that activity level stay the same. And the great thing about Prime Lister that I like better than any of the other sharing tools that I have tried is that it's cloud-based. I set up all of my rules, how often to share, how many to share, that when someone likes my listing, I want it to send out an offer for 10% off with $4.99 shipping exactly 2 minutes after they like it. All of those tasks I set in place months ago, and it just runs continuously and I never have to mess with it. Don't have to have my computer open, don't have to have my phone open. It just does it automatically all the time and I don't even have to think about it. Prime Lister allows me to stay active on Poshmark even when I'm not on there, and it is such a great value. It's $25 a month if you pay monthly, or $20 a month if you sign up for an entire year, which I think is a great price for all that it does. And if you're interested in trying it, you don't even have to put a credit card in. I will have a link in the description down below, and I'll also pin it as a comment. And if you click on that link, then you can sign up, try it free for 14 days without even putting a credit card in. And then if you love it, then you can decide to continue on. Probably if you try it, you will love it. I do. It has saved me so much time. So those are some of the things that I do to combat the summer slowdown. And really, I prepare for summer prior to summer. I'm preparing in December, January, and February because I want those items ready to go in April and May when people start thinking, gosh, I need a swimsuit, I need shorts. I think that's the case before any season. You want to prepare before the season hits. We will start on eBay. I sold 63 items for a gross amount of $1,436. This was my favorite item of the entire month. I found this item at the bins. I titled the listing Vintage 1940s Sears Hospital Nursing Home Gown, Nightgown, Medium, Open Back, Blue, USA. It sold for $63.29. My earnings were $28.53. That's a lot lower because it went international. It went all the way to Australia. So the $63.29 is the total amount that they paid, including shipping, taxes, fees. Then $28.53 is what's deposited in my account after everything is taken out, postage and fees. I paid just 34 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 4 months and 9 days to sell, and my profit was $28.19. And I just thought that was really neat. I love finding old vintage items. Another item that I found that same day at the bins, and we went fast. I think it was me and my daughter Morgan, and she didn't have a lot of time, so we went for like 30 minutes, and I thought, I didn't really find much at all. But when I go back and look, I actually did really well. Another item that I got that day was the Majorelle Karina jacket, size medium in gold check. And then I put Revolve, because it was an item that was sold at the store Revolve, which is a popular store. It sold for $37.92. My earnings were $25.84. I paid just 88 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 4 months and 15 days to sell, and my profit was $24.96. I think that's amazing when I can purchase items for less than $1 and the profit is in the mid-20s. Another item that I was really excited to sell was from my last haul. I'll pop up a picture of what the thumbnail looks like right here. That was a really good haul. A lot of the things sold really fast for really good money. One item had sold on eBay and the person never paid. In the video, I showed that it had sold and then it was canceled due to non-payment. Well, it sold again right away. I titled the listing On Cloud 5, running shoe, olive, white, men's size 8, green lacing speed. Sold the second time around for $70.15. My earnings were $46.88. I paid just $6.79 at my regular Goodwill. It sold, then I had to wait a little while to give the person the opportunity to pay, canceled it, relisted it, and it sold the next week. My profit was $40.09. The next one also came from that haul. This was the dress that I had 2 of, and they were both new with tags, so I love multiple quantities. It was the new with tags Savannah Jane dress, women's plus size 1X, embroidered A-line animal print. It sold for $37.61. My earnings were $21.31. I paid $8.99 of my regular Goodwill. It took 28 days to sell, and my profit was $12.32. I'm pretty good with $12.32 profit on a dress. Dresses take me a little bit more time, so I would love to make more than that, but the fact that I had 2 of them, if I sell 2 of them and my profit on the 2 is around $24 for almost the same amount of work, I think that is excellent. When I was filming this haul, I showed a couple items that I passed on that day when they were full price. I came back later and picked them up on the day that they were discounted to $1.29, and a couple of those items sold right away. The first one was this Lady Dorby vintage 80s dress, plus size 18W, red, plaid, black velvet vest, back tie long. It sold for a gross amount of $35.31. My earnings were $19.89. I'd paid just $1.29 at my regular Goodwill. It took just 6 days to sell, and my profit was $18.60. Another item that I skipped picking up during that haul but came back and purchased it when it was marked down to $1.29 was the Michelangelo formal black dress, women's size 26. I put evening gown, timeless, and classic. It sold for a gross amount of $38.46. My earnings were $21.62. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill. It took just 9 days to sell, and my profit was $20.33. The next one is an example of multiple quantities. I purchased some items from Fox Liquidation, and normally I usually stick with the Free People items, but I have been buying some that have mixed items, and a lot of times the Free People items I already have listings for, so I just update the quantities or relist it, so it's like no work at all. And if I can make at least $10 on each of those items, that is really good fast money. There were these blazers in with the lot, but I thought I'm gonna make enough money on the Free People things with hardly any work that it's okay if I just break even on these blazers. Well, they ended up doing pretty good. This one I had quantity of 6. It was the New of Tags bar 3 blazer, women's size, and then I put extra small, small, medium, or large. They sold for a range of $29.29 to $32.92. I listed them on both eBay and Poshmark. All of them sold on eBay, none of them sold on Poshmark. For one individual one that was in the middle of that, it sold for $30.69. My earnings were $17.73. I paid $11 each, and my profit was just $6.73, which sounds terrible, but I wasn't really planning on making anything on those. If I just broke even, I was good. But when I looked at the total amount, all 6 of them sold out within like 2 months. I'll pop up exactly how long it took for them all to sell out. I sold them for a gross amount of $188.40. My earnings on all 6 of them were $110.12. I paid a total of $66, and my total profit was $44.12. So I averaged $7.35 profit on each of them. Plus I got my original investment back, and it allowed me to purchase those Free People items that were essentially no work. So if you look at the profit of $44.12, probably on all 6 blazers, I might have spent 20 minutes listing, photographing, and shipping. So if I look at how much I'm making per hour on that, it's actually really good. Even if it took me 30 minutes to do all 6, that would still be $88.24 an hour. So getting those multiple quantities, I know I say it all the time, but for selling for so long, and I always write everything down, add it up, time myself, just know that's how I've always worked for the most per hour. Then I sold an item from a haul a little while ago, my Galveston haul. I looked up to see how many items were left. I have 4 items that are unsold from that haul now, so it did so well. Most of the things went fast and for really good money. This one I thought would sell for more, so I think I had it priced too high. So I gradually lowered it and put on accept offers, and it sold. It was the flax blue 100% linen dress, size P, petite, small, pockets, short sleeve, knee length. It sold for $34.23. My earnings were $22.64. I paid just $7.99 at the Goodwill in Galveston, Texas. It took 8 months and 18 days to sell, and my profit was $14.65. So that's still good, but I thought it was going to sell for a lot more than that, because normally those flax items do sell for more, but probably it had to do with it was a size petite. But I looked at which items I had left from that haul. The Jenny Packman dress sold once, they returned it, and I relisted it. There was a Harper Heritage chambray dress, and I had purchased it for me, and then it didn't fit me right. So that was, I wouldn't have picked that up otherwise. And then a Peter Millar polo shirt with a golf logo. I think those just take a little bit longer to sell when there is a logo to a specific country club. And then a Fabletics dress that I, in the back of my head, knew I shouldn't pick it up, and I did anyway. So that's just a little lesson for me. So what I did is I went in and I lowered the price of all 4 of those on Poshmark and eBay to see if I could get them to sell. Next, on Poshmark, I sold 48 items for a gross amount of $886.61. I sold the Sam Edelman wedges that in my last haul, I was talking about how I always price Sam Edelman up too high because I really like their shoes, and then I wait and finally lower it. So when it didn't sell right away, I lowered the price and it sold. I titled the listing Sam Edelman Mara wedges, size 9, espadrille wedge sandals women's black suede. They sold for $24. My earnings were $16.22. I paid just $6.59 at my regular Goodwill. They took 1 month and 5 days to sell, so I think that is just right. And my profit was $9.63. So just under the $10 mark. On single items, I really like to make at least $10 profit. That's close enough. Despite it being summer, I went ahead and picked up some blazers because I found those still sell. If something still has a great sell-through rate, it's still going to sell regardless of the season. I think sell-through rate is the #1 factor when looking at items. You can have an item, take terrible pictures, but if it has a high sell-through rate and it's in high demand, it will probably sell anyway. This jacket was the Kenneth Cole Awareness Slim Fit Sport Coat 42 regular blazer suit jacket. It sold for $37. My earnings were $26.62. I paid just $8.99 at my regular Goodwill, and it took just 7 days to sell. My profit was $17.63. There were 2 of them there, so I picked up them both. The other one has not sold yet. Another thing that makes listing go faster for me, when I get a couple things that are very similar, it's so nice and it makes the listing process go faster. Another jacket that I picked up, I did not look at it close enough. I got blinded by the elbow patches, and there was a union made tag inside, and it was a size 54 regular, and I was like, yes, this jacket's going to sell for so much. It was Ralph Lauren blazer jacket, men's 54 regular, elbow patches, wool, tweed, brown, vintage. Well, I got home to list it and noticed there were holes in it, but I thought I'm going to list it anyway. This is so nice, and maybe someone can have it repaired or they will just buy it anyway. I'm going to list it. I don't remember what I listed it for, probably $35, and I thought, if I just get my money back, I'll just take whatever offer comes in. I received an offer for $20, so I accepted it. My earnings were $16. I paid $8.99 at my regular Goodwill, and it only took 5 days to sell, which means maybe I could have gotten more out of it, but I'm just happy that it sold. And my profit was $7.01. Then the next item was just kind of a bread and butter item. A lot of people don't pick up Ann Taylor, but I do. It usually does pretty well for me, and it was new with tags. This was the new with tags, $74, Ann Taylor, women's size 6, navy, 31-inch waist, blue pencil skirt. Then I put career stretch. It sold for $22. My earnings were $14.62. I paid just 97 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 7 months to sell, and it sold on eBay. They returned it for fit. Then I had taken it off Poshmark. I put unsold. I put it back on sale when I received the return on eBay, and it sold just 4 days later. I never like getting returns, but I always remember things will sell. They usually sell fast when I get them back in. Those On Cloud shoes and the Ann Taylor skirt. Both of those resold really quickly. The next one was such a cute dress. This was Brooks Brothers red fleece shirt dress, size 10, blue, white striped belt logo. I looked up the comps and I found some that sold for really high. So I think I had it listed for like $60. Nothing happened, so I kept dropping it and dropping it. Finally, I got an offer for $22, so I took it. My earnings were $17.60. I paid just $1.20 at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 4.5 months to sell, and my profit was $16.40. So I thought it was going to be like a $30 or $40 profit dress, and it actually should have been. So let me show you where I went wrong. I was looking up sold comps to show some that sold for a high amount, and what I found when I was searching sold comps that led me to believe that this dress could sell for $50 or $60. There are those that sell for that amount, but there are also those that sell for a lot lower. And I think that is because the sell-through rate is actually pretty low, so you have to give it time to sell, and I was impatient and I did not give it long enough to sell. When I looked up sold comps and I saw that there were 369 currently available, and only 77 had sold. So I calculated that, and that is a 20.8, so essentially 21% sell-through rate. So it should take like probably a little over a year to sell. I only gave it 4.5 months. So it sold for a lower amount. So you can sell things faster that have a low sell-through rate if you price them lower. If you want that higher price, you have to be willing to wait longer. So that was my mistake. I should have known it. I wish I had held out longer, but that's okay. I still made a profit. But next time I'm going to think a little bit longer before I just accept that offer. Then I had so many swimsuits sell. I think like 14 or 16 swimsuits. And all of these have been listed for a long time, and a lot of them are multiple quantity. A lot of them sold for just like $15, $17, but I got them at such a low price. A lot of these come from my great swimsuit deal, and the first time I purchased from them, I think I got them for like around $5 each. Then the next year, like $2 each, then $1 each. I have gotten them down to, at one time, just 25 cents each. But there are a lot of them that don't sell for much at all. Sometimes I'll sell a separate for just like $7 or $8, or a whole bikini for $14 to $18, which does not leave a lot of profit. But when I had 30 of that same one, those multiple quantities really add up. An example of one of them, I've had this swimsuit. I listed it in October of 2021. I have sold so many of them in all different sizes. This was the New with Tags Hula Honey Maze Muse Halter Bikini Top and Bottoms Set Medium. It sold for $15. My earnings were $12. I paid just $2. So on this set, $1 for the top and $1 for the bottom. And my profit was $10. So I think that's great. I also had swimsuits that sold for a lot more. Some of them, like miracle suits, sold for a lot of money. Then I had an item that sold from my Houston Bins haul. So I thought I would include that since I shared that haul. This was the Zara, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, TRAFALUC collection pants, small, striped, zip front small. They sold for $13. My earnings were $7.07. I paid $1.73 at the Houston Bins. They took 8 months to sell, and my profit was $5.33. So not a lot. The things that had a higher value sold right away. So now the last few items are just sitting and they'll trickle out. But overall, that trip when I went to the Galveston Goodwill, the Bins store, and the Houston Goodwill Bins was amazing. I ended up with a great profit on those items. Now to go over all of my numbers. In the month of June 2024, I sold a total of 116 items. My gross sales amount was $2,434.41. My earnings, or the amount that was deposited back in the bank, was $1,418.60. My cost of goods was $380.05, and my profit was $1,038.55. And it's interesting, this is so similar to May. My numbers are just dollars off on gross earnings, cost of goods, and profit. On eBay specifically, I sold 63 items for a gross amount of $1,436. After fees and postage, I received back $705.71. My cost of goods was $201.04, and my profit on eBay was $504.67. On Poshmark, I sold a total of 48 items for a gross sales amount of $886.61. After fees, I received back $648.72. My cost of goods on Poshmark was $160.11, and my profit was $488.61. I did not highlight any of my items on Mercari because they were just small sales, but I did sell 5 items on Mercari for $111.80. The money that I received back in the bank after fees and postage was $64.17. My cost of goods was $18.90, and my profit on Mercari was $45.27. If we look at where my items came from, 53 were thrifted, 30 were liquidation, and 28 were retail arbitrage. And 25 of those 28 that were retail arbitrage were swimsuits. So that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy What Sold videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it so much. And if you're new and not subscribed, if you would like to join me again, hit the subscribe button down below. And if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye. My mom and dad gave me the best present for my birthday. It is this bird feeder with a camera inside. And look at this adorable little hummingbird. I am having so much fun with this. If my listings are down next month, this is why. I cannot stop bird watching. It's so fun.